That's bad.
Alright gang, we are out in the garage today working on our 1955 Chevy Belair. That's right, we're getting to work on this bad boy a little bit today. So the plan for today is to tackle the front suspension and brakes. We've got all this stock goodness still going on up here. Honestly, probably could have gotten away with just some good brakes and some like trick springs, cut the coils, would have been fine. But I do like this car, so I wanted to put some, good parts on it. So we got some good coilovers that we're going to throw on it. We got some tubular upper and lower control arms, and we are switching it to disc brakes, front and rear. The rear, we're going to be putting this Ford 88 in it, out of an Explorer cut down, so it's 56.5 inches, give or take, 56, 57. I don't remember offhand, but that's how we're doing our rear disc brakes, nice and easy. For the fronts, we got a conversion kit from Speedway. Everything is all those boxes over there on the shelf. And once we get all that done, we can throw our new wheels and tires on the front. So we got a bunch of stuff done on the Mustang, waiting on some parts to show up. Haven't ordered them yet, so who knows when that'll be. Figured I'd take the time to use this as an excuse to work on my favorite car. Don't tell the Skylark I said that. Shh. So yeah, let's start digging out some parts. Like I said, I've got a bunch of stuff over here. These are fans. We don't need those. Might actually use those on the Mustang since I'm not going to need them for the 55 anytime soon. This is onboard air. Obviously not ready for that yet. Oh, here's what I was looking for the other day for the Mustang. Damn. I knew I put them up here somewhere. This is our front coilover springs. And a bug. And these are our shocks. So this coilover kit is from CPP, Classic Performance Products. They are double adjustable Vikings. This was a relatively cheap kit because they don't advertise it as coming with Viking shocks. It just says that they are CPP coilovers. And we got 350 pound. These are their small block springs, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Like I said, it's been about a month since I've ordered these. And then our control arms are, I believe, in this big old box here. This should be our brakes. This is all rear end stuff we're not going to get to yet. Spoilers. So let me get this out of here. We could have gotten away with our stock control arms, no problem, but I like this car. I kind of want to spoil this car a little bit. So budget was in mind with all of this, which is why I got the CPP kit. Like I said, it didn't say that it had Vikings in it. I only found that out like through accident looking at the eBay listings for it. It said Viking coilovers, Viking shocks. So then I got a hold of the people at CPP and I was like, hey, what's up with this? And they were like, yeah, it does. So I was like, sweet, I know what I'm getting. So these are some of the eBay control arms. I was kind of skeptical about it, but they were cheap. Like all four were like 240 bucks or 250 bucks. So I was like, I'll order them, see what's up. It looks robust as hell. We'll try it out. Ooh, these ones are beefy. Jeez. I was worried about the coilovers bolting to the bottom of the control arm here, but that's like a 1/4 inch thick right here. Yeah, that's no problem. I do see one problem though, maybe. No, it'll work. Okay. So on this, it has threaded holes here, and I was worried they looked too far apart for our shock mount. But nope, they're perfect. Just trying to do my due diligence, see if I can find anything now that needs to be touched up. But it all looks good. Alright, here's a little bit better look at everything that we got going on. So, like I said, all this is seeming to be pretty good quality. I'm going to tighten these up a little bit just to double, triple check, but everything else seems pretty good. Now, for the upper control arms, there's something, I don't remember what, I think like a lip in here that I need to grind down a little bit to clear them. But aside from that, they look like they should be good. So now the fun part of tearing all the stock stuff out. Got the shock out, got the spring out in 2 pieces. Can't really tell. Golly, this is a big spring. Jesus. Now, we are hung up on one seized bolt right there, so. I've had some heat on it. Apparently not enough, because it still doesn't want to come off. This thing just does not want to give up. It's dead. Alright, that was a pain in the butt. Ended up having to use the heat wrench on it, but finally got all of the front suspension on the side off. So, do need to reuse the spindle here, so still got to pull that apart. And I need to really clean up this frame here. But we're making some progress. There's our stamped steel upper control arm. Here's our new shiny tubular deal. It looks like we're going to have a lot more front end travel. And then our lower joint, a little bit nicer. Quite a bit heavier, quite a bit beefier, but that's alright. Weight is just a sign of reliability. So, like I said, I'm going to get all this cleaned up and get all the crumbs and dirt and debris out from inside the frame rail. Then we'll start throwing this thing together. Alright, I don't know if you guys can tell. Got it cleaned up a little bit. Got a lot of the dirt and everything out of there. Got some of the gunk scraped off. There's still a little bit more I could go. But our next order of business is test fitting the upper control arm. Because like I said earlier, there's something somewhere that allegedly needs to get grounded. Maybe not. I mean, we're definitely going to need our spacers for this, because initially it had 4 in the back, 3 in the front. I'd be shocked if it didn't need any, because our crossbar is hitting the upper shock mount a little bit right now. And for the time being, until it ever gets aligned, I'm going to put the stock shims back in there. But for right now, we're looking decent. It does look like our it does look like down here hits before the bump stop. Interesting. I want to look at where the upper ball joint is in relation to the frame compared to the other side. So this side, it's basically in line with the bottom of the bump stop mount. And how we hanging over here, it's kind of the same. Huh. I mean, more or less it's the same. If we trim this bump stop mount out, something I want to think about before making any further decisions. And then with our shims, how are we looking? It looks like it'll still clear everything. I could probably get away with just cutting this lower section off, because it looks like the stock one was rubbing there a bunch too. Which, not really going to be able to see a whole lot there, huh? Might have been the spindle, who knows. But yeah, something was definitely really having a field day there. That's pretty deep. That's like a 1/16 deep. So yeah, I might just like follow this around and leave this as the bump stop. It'll still be triangulated, so it'll still have strength to it. Shouldn't just fold down. And if we just basically follow that along, I think that's what I'm going to do. This is looking much better. It is all just that bump stop. I think this back section right here, I could clearance a little bit. I probably will. Everything else is looking good. I am happy with that. I am very happy with that. Are we looking up here? All that's looking great. See, even if we Even if we went back to there, we're still clearing everything. Perfect. And for the most part, I expect it to ride kind of like around here in this neighborhood, give or take. Then we hit the brake. Hell yeah. Looks killer. Now, if you've ever tried to adjust coilovers that are all galled up from never using anti-seize on them, you know it is a pain in the butt. So, when these instructions say to use anti-seize, brother, I'm gonna coat these things in anti-seize. Alright, that is looking pretty damn good. And I did put the coilover above the control arm on purpose. So, all that's left is get the spindle on and get the new brakes on, and then we're done. Alright, got the spindle all stripped down from all the drum brakes and everything. Got that thrown in the trash. Got everything here permanently affixed to the car, which means now we can move on to our brakes. So for this, I'm not trying to reinvent the rotor. I was initially looking at some aerospace kits, but they're a little pricey. I think for this, the total for everything would have come out to like $1,200, which I'm not looking to spend that much. And then I happened to be watching one of Tony Angelo's videos. This was a while back, where they were putting the SB2 in his 55 Chevy. And in that video, they converted his car to disc brakes. And I was like, you know what? Let me just copy paste that real quick. So that's exactly what I did. This is everything from Speedway to put some metric discs on the front of the 55. We'll start with our conversion hardware. We'll put those brackets on. New bearings, which is great. New hoses, dust caps, pads, calipers. These are the same calipers I've got on the back of the Skylark. They work well. So now I just need to get it all bolted on. This is a pretty straightforward, just bolt together deal. So I'm just gonna get it thrown on real quick. All right, so it took me a second to figure this out because there's no instructions. I did end up conceding and looking online. So caliper obviously goes on front because we got the steering arm back here. It initially wants these bolts to go through that way. Doesn't work. Hits the control arm. Even if I were to cut the threads off, like the thread sticking out, it still sticks out further than I'd like. So I held the rotor up there. That's like a big recessed section. That's this big cavernous cavern. So I was like, perfect. Just run them through this way, out of the way. You get more steering angle. Because before, you can actually see a little bit where I chipped the powder coating there. But we're looking good now. So now I need to tighten this one down all the way. Don't know what it needs to go to. And then I can pack the bearings, get the rotor on there, tighten the axle nut down, and then boom, pad, caliper, hose, we're all good. All right, brakes are on and they are looking damn good. Here is what we got going on. I already got the bearings all packed with grease and everything. Got it tightened down, clips in it.
Boom, don't have to worry about it. Got the fresh pad drag, so not worried about that. But yeah, this is looking pretty damn good. I thought about painting the calipers, but it's pretty cold out right now. I just don't want to deal with it. So we're not worried about that. This whole setup looks killer, man. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now all we got to do is throw the other side all together, because this is the only side I've touched so far, and then get our wheels on it, and we are good to go. Obviously, connect the brake lines up, change the master cylinder at some point. I haven't even ordered that yet. And then rear end, bleed the system, and then we're actually good. But as far as this video goes, I'm not going to bore you with all of that. All I wanted to do today was tackle changing the upper and lower control arms, putting the coilovers in, and converting it to disc brakes. And dude, this looks good. This looks so damn good. This metric kit should be perfect for what we've got going on here. The car is going to be kind of quick, make some decent power, but it's not going to, rotate the earth or anything like that. So it's going to be a good, fun street car. I wanted something that was real easy to service, easy to get parts for, things readily available, things relatively cheap, and would work good. Splurged a little bit for the drilled and slotted rotors, and then we could always upgrade the pads down the road to something a little bit more grabby. But like I said, for what we've got going on here, this should be plenty for a long time. Good street car setup on what will hopefully be a pretty dang good street car. So all that's left to do is everything else, and then the car is going to be done. All right, I'm going to go inside. I can feel my nose turning into a faucet. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell to get notifications. I'll see you guys next time.